I want to staunch your phone, Kurt.
Sorry, is that a bucket list alarm?
Put it on airplane mode.
It's off now. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Okay, first thing, just like to say I appreciate our fans coming out. You know, the forecast was miserable. It was raining all day until the kick, and so really appreciate those guys coming out. Thought overall it was a good day. What really stood out to me is our defense played extremely well, and our second defense played well too. And they've done that all spring. Honors Carlson, our kicker, he's done that all spring too. That was very encouraging to see him out there kicking the way he has been up to this point in front of a crowd. You know, tailback wise, you know, our plan was to rotate those guys, especially the young guys, see what they could do. And they held on to the football. That was really, you know, was my main thing. And you could see those young guys have a lot of ability. Broke some tackles, did some good things. But and then our quarterbacks, it was good to see those guys out in front of a crowd. You know, the thing with Malik, we missed a couple ones, you know, over the top. I think we overthrew a couple, but you know, he's going against one of the best, you know, defenses in college football, and that'll only make him better. But overall, you know, both sides of the football got after it and had fun out there playing in front of our home crowd. So, questions?
How's Jeremiah Denson? What was his injury?
Yeah, he had a little shoulder. I don't know how serious it was, but you know, he had a shoulder injury.
What about Brodarius Hamlin?
Brodarius, you know, he had a scare with his knee. You know, he's walking around right now. I mean, we'll see how that ends up.
And Jordan Peters.
Jordan Peters, he tweaked his ankle out there, so I think he'll be okay.
Gus, what are the biggest areas of concern for you coming out of spring?
Of course, we got one more practice. Areas of concern. First of all, here's what I feel good about. You know, I feel good about our defense. I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, they just carried over. And I feel good about our offensive line from the standpoint, our first offensive line. You saw those guys get better and better and start working together. You know, running back wise, we are going to have some depth. There's no doubt about that. You know, receiver wise, you know, Ryan Davis didn't go today. We held him out. That was by design. You know, he's been kind of had a little bit of a hamstring. We know what we're going to get with him, so he didn't go. But you know, overall, I feel good about where we're at. I mean, we battled some injuries. You know, obviously the two wide receivers, but you know, I thought it's been very successful up to this point.
Gus, Cam Martin held out.
Yeah, Cam Martin had a little bit of a tweak to his hamstring. He was going to see if he could go in pregame, and you know, we decided, or he just said, hey, I'm not 100%. So that was, and here's the deal with Cam. We know what we're getting with Cam, and he's had a very good spring, and it was good. And I know Coach Horton was planning on, you know, getting the majority of the reps for those young guys anyway.
Same thing for Chandler Cox, just kind of holding him out.
Yeah, Chandler Cox, you know, really there wasn't anything wrong with him at all. It's just, you know, he's a 3-year starter. You know, he's got more experience at that position than anybody we've ever had, and so we wanted to give those other guys opportunities to show what they could do, you know, especially with the one. So I thought that was good, and you know, that would give us some depth. You know.
Coach, obviously Malik's been working with the one. I know he was out there against the first, you know, out there against a good defense, but yeah. Were you expecting at least a better performance considering the work he's got?
Well, you know, like I said, I think he missed a couple kind of over the top. There was 2 that I know he'd like to have back. That if we'd hit those, I think he'd have been feeling better. I mean, the fumble is really what stands out to me. We just got to protect the football, but you know, overall, I think he's had a solid spring, and but like I said, he'd like to probably have those 2 back that we kind of overthrew.
Nick Coe kind of put an exclamation point on his spring overall with that sack and the safety.
Yeah, that was impressive. He made a very good move on that and got the safety, and you know, he's a guy that they've been talking about taking that next step, and I think he's had a very solid spring too.
You talked about C.J. Tolbert.
Yeah.
Every time he gets to the ball, he seems to do something well.
Yeah, C.J., we're very proud of him. He's kind of one of those guys that kind of a lot of people don't talk about, but every time he gets in there, he produces. And he made an explosive run down the right side. He protected the football too. Made a very good run getting in the end zone. Made a guy miss. So, you know, he's had a very good spring, and he's in the mix. There's no doubt about that.
So he could actually carry the ball in a game where it mattered.
I would say he's in a good spot.
Did you like what you saw from Boobie Whitlow back there?
Yeah, you know, Boobie's got that ability. I mean, he just needs to carry the ball more, but he does have a unique ability. You know, he made a play similar to that a couple of weeks ago and actually scored a touchdown reversing field and all that. Of course, you can't make a living in this league, you know, with the speed doing that, but I thought it was encouraging that, you know, he didn't like to go down. and he just needs more experience. And I thought Asa had made some good runs too, and so we've got some depth at the tailback position.
What's the biggest area that Whitlow needs to work on heading into the
I think he just needs more experience and more carries between the tackles. I think he played quarterback, in high school, and he got some quarterback runs, but there's nothing like, getting that feel behind an offensive line when you're playing tailback.
Because when the defense dominates this spring in scrimmage settings as much as they have, how much of that is a point of pride that, hey, this defense is really talented, and how much of it is a point of concern that this offense is not able to move forward?
Well, I'll say this just from my standpoint. Our leader on offense, Jared Stidham, wasn't out there. And, today there was some impact players. I think Ryan Davis led the league in receptions, and we held out Chandler Cox. So, there's no concern. But I will tell you this, our defense has a chance to be really good. So, just from a head coach's standpoint, up to this point in spring, I feel very good about our overall team. The kicking game was something I was concerned about, losing Daniel, and I think everybody sees that. I think we're in a position to be pretty good for the kicking game for a long time too. So, I'm feeling good. There's no concern after a spring game. I think, thinking about Malik Willis, I think we had a guy named Cam Newton a few years back. I think he went 3 for 8 in the spring game. Everybody's real concerned. I think he went on to win the Heisman Trophy. So I don't overreact on a spring game type setting.
The secondary, lose a lot of guys back there. They look like they had a good day, especially tackling.
Yeah, those 2 young guys were flying around. There's no doubt about that. And they've done that all spring too. So, that was good to see, and it was good to see them do that, in front of our crowd too.
On punt return there, you had a couple buffs, one was dropped off the chest. See any concern going there, or what have they been doing all spring?
Well, that we've been doing similar to what we did today, and been rotating guys, and just trying to get information from those guys. And once we get to fall camp, we'll narrow some things down. Obviously Ryan Davis has done it in the game, and we kind of know what we have as far as he's concerned. The rest of the guys, they're in competition, and everything will be evaluated as of today was too.
You talked about feeling good about the offensive line. How much has Austin Troxell's development helped that?
Yeah, Austin really has come on, and I'm very impressed with him. Him and Calvin Ashley, there's some great competition there. That's 2 talented guys. They're starting to come on. So Prince Tega is a guy that, I've said it, I guess last week, that he's really taken that next step, and really I see the leadership. And then you got Mark O'Hara and Mike Horton that has starts and experience and all that. So that offensive line, especially the first team offensive line, really starting to come together. So that was encouraging the last week of spring.
Chip Lindsey said he would like to be able to narrow the running backs down to maybe 2 or 3 at the end of spring. Do you think you can easily do that now?
We're hopeful we can have some kind of order like we talked about, at the first of spring. Today was really good. We got a lot of information. So they'll grade the film. We'll see where we're at, and we'll finish up spring, with the Tuesday practice. It'll be more special teams and special situation oriented, but there will be some offense and defense too.
How much has the competition at that position helped out throughout spring and just pushing everybody in the running back?
The running back, yeah, there's nothing better than competition, and keeps everybody on that edge. And my experience is when you have competition, the cream rises to the top. And we've got some pretty good information, from those guys. And like I said, big picture right now, the thing I can tell you is we're going to have depth. And you could not have enough depth in this league at the running back position.
How much confidence does it give you, those young guys stepping in on defense, to really mesh with those vets that you've had come back on the line?
You talking about running backs?
No, on defense, just those young guys, the rising sophomore guys.
Oh, yeah.
And just how much confidence does that give you?
Yeah, I think we got some quality depth, up front. We got quality depth at the linebacker position too. And like I said, I know Coach Steele's focus was on the back end, putting all the pieces of the puzzle. And I think overall they've done a very solid job.
Because somebody puts as much importance on spring as you do and have for years, how much do you look at this spring as a bit of a missed opportunity for the offense between Jared not being able to go? I know it's maybe one scrimmage with Cam being held out, Ryan missing a couple, the offensive line injuries, the receiver injuries. Some of this to the big picture has to be a bit of a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I could say about that is obviously the 2 receivers that we have with ACLs. That was a very tough deal. Everything else, from a Jarrett Stidham standpoint, you'd like to have him out there, but the positive is those two other guys got quality experience, okay, and that'll help us in the fall. And then the thing about with Jared, even though he's 1 year with us in this league, he played pretty well, and he does have experience, and he's kind of been from the other perspective, seeing things from a different standpoint, and I think that'll help him. So really, I see the quarterback deal as being a positive as far as big picture. The unfortunate thing is the two receivers, that we just got to have other guys step up, and it has given some other guys some opportunities, but I'd say that's the only tough blow up to this point.
Anything else?